Okay. Yeah, you can introduce yourself, please. Go ahead. Thank you.
My name is Olu. So I'm based in Atlanta, Georgia. I have masters in health information management. And my work experience is from Australia. I used to live in Australia, so I manage health information team.
Guys, others, please go on mute. Rajni, there's a noise coming from your side, please. Yeah, please continue, Olu.
Okay, so I don't have IT experience. Everything I have just software end user experience, health information software, and that's about all.
Thank you so much for your quick introduction. So, Olu, you mentioned you were working in healthcare.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So you have end user experience, like you must have used a lot of softwares in your hospital or that setup, right? As an end user.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Great. Great. So thank you so much for sharing your details. So let me give you a quick introduction from my side, and also assure you that I'm pretty sure as you have joined in between, you might have doubts like, what about the earlier sessions? How we'll catch up? So we'll give a brief about that as well. Okay. So to start with, we have two trainers in this session, myself and my name is Prerna. And along with me, there is a co-trainer, Mr. Gaurav Kumar. So I have around 16 years of experience completely in IT, and I have done my master's in computer applications from Mumbai University in the year 2008. And since then, I've been working with a lot of small scale as well as MNC, organizations, starting with web development, then team management, then project management, then portfolio management. And currently, I'm working, in an international bank as a project manager role. So I have been into all the software development life cycles phases, and I really enjoy working in IT. Along with that, training is my passion. So here I am. I continuing my hobby or passion as a teacher, into teaching as a coach here. So that's it from my side. I'll request Gaurav if he could hear us. Gaurav, are you there? Can you share your introduction?
Yeah, Prerna, I hope I am audible. Could you please confirm?
Yeah, you're audible.
Hello. Yeah, thank you so much for confirming. So yeah, thank you so much for asking. So hello everyone, very good evening. And yes, I come from IT experience of 20 plus years of background. I have worked in the various domain BFSI, currently working with US based company as a release manager. And yeah, I started my journey as a QA, then evolved as a QA lead, BA lead, and then service delivery manager, now working as a release manager. Apart from this IT experiences, I'm also a personal development coach, business coach, and wear multiple hats and continue. Currently, I'm pursuing my doctorate as well, and I have authored two books. One had been Amazon India best-selling, and have impacted almost 9,000 candidates from the age group of 18 to 80 in the various journey of various subject. And apart from this, teaching is my passion too, so I'm here to serve you all. So this is just a quick one from my end. Over to you, Prerna.
Yeah, thank you so much, Gaurav. So yeah, Olu, to answer some of your queries, though you haven't asked, but these are the frequent questions we get. So yes, you have joined in between the session, but that is completely fine because our sessions are, always continuously going on. So, so you can attend as many training as possible in this course, in this track. So now you are joined along with the Scrum. So once we complete Scrum, we'll again start with the BA part, then you can join that cycle also. So in short, you do not miss on any topics or any teaching. And in case you have any doubts, we will share the recordings on the group, earlier recordings. We'll request you to go through them, so that will give you a better clarity and understanding of what has been taught, or if you want to just catch up on some of the other topics along with the regular online one. Yeah. Does that answer, or do you have any further questions before we start, Olu?
No, yeah, that's clear because I received the email sorry from the group chat at the link to all the previous recordings.
Yes, prior videos. Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yes,
I've
yes, yes.
started
And
listening.
even in
Yeah.
that, Olu, if you have any doubts, you are very much welcome to ask them during the sessions. If you feel you still have any, you can connect with us offline on the chat or on one-on-one chat, depending on your convenience. So yeah, we are there to answer your questions. And by the way, this is open for all. We do get pretty one-on-one messages in case someone is late, someone is away, or any other in any other typical doubts they have. So yes, feel free to connect to us anytime. Yeah.
No
So
problem.
on
Thank
this note, I'll yeah, yeah. Thank you so much.
you.
So anything else, Olu, from your side, or are we good to start? Do you want to ask anything else?
No, it's all good. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, most welcome, Olu. So yes, today let us start with a very interesting and very practical topic of DOD. Okay, anybody who has heard this word DOD, or anybody who has any idea about what is the full form of DOD? Yeah,
It's
any guesses?
definition of done.
Definition of done.
Yes,
We
yes,
heard it
yes,
in last
absolutely
class.
right. Yes, yeah, that's why I did ask, because even though the topics are not thoroughly taught, we keep referring to the terminologies in between the sessions. So you are absolutely right. DOD stands for definition of done. Now let us go a little deep dive into the types of DOD or varieties of DOD. Okay, and I hope my screen is visible for everyone. It's a little smaller font, but let me know. Yeah. Is it visible to all of you guys?
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is it readable?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, great. So here, can you see there are three headings starting with, sorry, initial definition of done, mature definition of done, and stringent definition of done. Okay. So that basically shows the level level of in-depthness of of a DOD. Like, initial starts with a very limited set of I would say coverage, or very limited set of parameters. That's the right word. The mature DAD has further more parameters, whereas the stringent one has multiple and strict parameters. Okay. So what are they? I will request 7 people to start one by one for initial DOD, and then I would like to explain that one by one, what it is and how it is done, and how do we gauge the parameters. Yeah. So please unmute yourself and read out these 7 points in
Yeah.
initial DOD.
Initial, all
Init-
except criteria met.
Okay. Go ahead. Go ahead.
unit test coverage is greater than 85%.
Okay. Thank you. Next.
Functional test passed.
No unknown defects.
No known defect, not unknown. It's known. Okay. Next.
Peer code review.
Passed. Okay.
Peer code review passed.
Okay.
Documentation
Next.
completed.
Documentation completed.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah. So here, if you see, all acceptance criteria should be met. That means, see, whenever there is any application or any mobile application, web application, website, there are certain criterias. Give me a second. Yes, sorry for that. There are certain criterias which need to be met. Now you may ask, what kind of criteria, what are they? So let me clarify. They depend on application to application. Like for example, for a mobile application, a criteria given by customer may be that the application should fetch information very fast, like on the click, all the data should be available. There should not be any error while surfing that application. Like for example, uh, all of you use WhatsApp? Yes, no? Give me a yes or no, all of you.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Have you
Yes.
come across any error, like unknown error 404, 532 or 504, anything like that on WhatsApp?
No.
No.
Okay. Have you come across this error in any old website? Like when you're
Yes.
trying to access maybe some
Yes.
old college or some, yeah.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
why that comes? Because that error is not handled properly, that error is not covered properly. And rather, in short words, in short, it's not taken care. But when you use WhatsApp, it's properly handled. Like I don't see that much latency. Latency means delay in fetching message in WhatsApp. It's quite fast. But many a times, when you go to some website, maybe some hospital website or maybe some educational website, when there is data fetching, you see some icon moving round and round, round and round. That shows that it's loading or data is being fetched. Yeah. Have you come across such icon, which
Yes.
while your data is while you want to go to next page in a website? Yeah.
Yes.
So all these are tricks and tips of how to engage a customer while working on it, and that can be some of the acceptance criteria. Acceptance criteria simply means that whatever the customer is expecting from your application, and it can be in the form of performance, network speed, storage capacity. It is a little technical, it has a technical edge to it, but just for understanding, I'm explaining. Okay. So that has to be met. That means whatever is asked for from an application, that all has to be met. Next is unit test coverage is should be more than 85%. Anybody has any idea what is a unit test with respect to IT?
Yes.
Yeah, can you just briefly or in
Yeah.
one liner
Like
explain? Yeah,
developer has to unit test his or her own code.
okay.
Developers has to
Thank you
run
so
their
much.
code once they do coding,
Mhm.
I think.
Okay.
Test their own
Okay.
code.
Yes. So you all are right to an extent. Definitely. We all know in development, there's a development team, or, there's also dedicated testing team who does all the testing once the development is done. Sorry. But that's not it. As a developer, once you complete your development of a particular functionality, particular page, a particular app, anything, you are supposed to test that on your machine on your own. So that is why it is called a unit test. That simply means you're testing one particular unit, and and that unit should be more than 85% correct. That means out of 100 activities, for example, if are there, 85 should be working fine, or 85% of the work should be done completely. That's just a percentage they have mentioned, but generally in unit test, as a developer, as an ex developer, I remember, you should ensure that everything is working fine. Okay. Next is no known defect, means like how we mentioned 404 error or page not found error or things like that. So please ensure that there are no uh, errors or issues which are already known by the developer which you have not fixed. So can anybody say, what can anybody explain, or just share their views about what is a known defect and what is an unknown defect? Any
Known
thoughts on that? Yeah.
known defects are like that we know that might can come, like page not found
Okay.
error. And unknown defects,
Okay.
like we don't know, we are not sure about the defects. And known defects we
Absolutely
can
right.
handle.
Yes. Absolutely right. So, very well explained. Thank you so much. So as the word suggests in English, known defects means we know that there are defects, and as a programmer or as a development team, handle them. An unknown defect simply means that you are not aware about those defect. Okay, you are not sure about when and how that will come, and that rather it should not come, but it might due to some technical glitch or network delays or anything like that. So that is known defect, unknown defect. Peer code review and pure code review past means peer means your colleague, somebody who's sitting next to you and working on similar tasks, who is on the similar levels, more or less similar experience and stuff like that. So what we do, what is called as a peer review. Imagine me and Gaurav, we are peers, developers. Okay, we are colleagues in a development team. So once I complete my part of coding, I will request Gaurav to check or to test my code or review my code. Review is the right word. So he'll go through the functionality, he will check all the technicalities of coding, and same I can do for him, rather I do for him. So that is called as a peer review. And peer review passed means simply that you have to know, you have to check that whatever development or coding is done by the other person, that has to be completely, I would say, approved. Do you understand the word approved? So, in case Gaurav finds some technical fault, or he finds a better way of implementing something, some coding or some functionality, he can suggest that, and he can ask, or he can request me to implement that, or same I can do with him. So what it does is basically it's like a make a check a functionality in a way, or a review thing. You remember in school, I mean, I did that because I used to sit next to my best friend, and we were both apparently, in the first 5 or 10. So what we used to do, whenever you used to write any essays or anything that is something out of the scope, that has to get reviewed, we used to share our notebooks with each other, and we used to check each other's answers or each other's essay. Have you guys done that in school with your close pals or best friends, or in your friends group? Yeah. I mean,
Yes.
I
Yes.
hope, but yeah, at
Yes.
least a basic idea, right? In schools also nowadays they say, okay, you can check others, and you can give them marks. Just it can be a fun activity, but in IT, it is one of the important way to keep a check or have a review, have a first level review. Okay, so definitely the code is reviewed by seniors again, and as a by the team leader, or maybe by the scrum master. But on the first ground, apart from you as a developer, your peer review should also be done, and it should be passed. That means he or she should approve your code. And third is in the last is not the last but not the least is documentation complete. By the way, these three are this one is into all the phases. So documentation is essential, but the level and depth of documentation is not known. But whatever has been mentioned in your project, minimum or required documentation has to be there. There is a trick question which comes with respect to Scrum, maybe in the interviews or overall discussions. The question is it true or false that documentation is not required in Scrum? What do you feel the answer is?
False. Documentation is required, I think. Yeah.
It is required,
Yeah.
yes.
Documentation is required, but to an extent. It's not like we have to go deep down, but the basic documentation should be there.
Who answered that?
Neetu?
Yeah, Neetu, thank you so much. You have passed the interview. As in, everybody answered, but then the explanation which you gave, that was the perfect one, the apt one. So yes, your answer has to be what Neetu just expressed, that definitely documentation is important or it is required, but to an extent without going further deep dive into unnecessary details. Because as a Scrum, we do not have that much time. Give me a second, guys. Yeah. So any doubt in initial
You know,
DOD? I mean,
Prerna, let me know
y-
if I can take this slide, then I can. Definitely.
yeah, yeah. Let me finish mature and then you can start with stringent if you want to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
any doubts in this, guys? Initial DOD?
Yes, I had a question
Mm-hmm.
about the documentation. If you could give an example,
Okay.
please explain.
Now, now see, there are certain documents like BRD, that stands for Business Requirement Documents. There are different diagrams like activity diagram, fish diagram. There are certain, furthermore, I would say, analytical or analysis level documents required. So now it's your organizations or your teams or your along with clients consent, your call, that till what level of detail you have to go. Now if you ask me, BRD, like this business requirement document, is a must, because it is like, I generally call it like it's a Gita, Bible, Quran. So it has all the requirements, all the specification that you have to work. So that is required. But along with that, other supporting documents, like see, there are multiple. There can be a risk register to check the what are the unforeseen or not unseen risk. There can be a stakeholder management plan. There can be multiple documents which are not mandatory. It's as simple as that. You are studying for any particular exam, and you know from which topics that but some majority of questions are going to come, so you can leave some topics as an option. Have you guys done that? I guess everybody, especially in college. Yes. Have you
Yes.
we kept
Yes.
some of the topics or
Yes.
chapters in option? Why? Because we knew they were not so important, or they were not there were not many questions from that. In the same way, we are doing away with the unnecessary documents which is not required. See, in other organization, other typical waterfall method, they might, some organizations or some teams are very heavy on documentation. That can be an audit task. Like in banks, if you ask me, there is too much of documentation. Why? Because being a bank, many of the documents can be asked during the audit checks, or doing the annual audits, internal or external audits. So that's fine. But in Scrum, in typical IT organizations, or even non-IT organizations following Scrums, they can have basic minimum required documentation, and that is good to go. See, apparently you do not have that much strength and timeline to even complete that, and it is not even required. So let's get practical and just work on what is required. Okay, that is the situation.
Okay,
Next,
thank you.
mature. Yeah, most welcome. I hope it answers your question. And see, next is all business mature. In case of mature DoD, I'll request everyone just go one by one and keep reading the headings. Yeah.
All businesses functionality and acceptance criteria meet.
No dependents
Okay,
unattended.
just wait, let's go one by one. So I'll just explain and then other can. So all business functionality and acceptance criteria met means all the required functionality has to be developed. So it can be a web application, it can be mobile application, it can be a web service, it can be a website like Amazon, it can be a website like Facebook, it can be an app like Instagram, or see, I tend to take popular and known examples because they're easy for to relate and understand. So, all the functionality required for Instagram, like take pictures, make reels, whatnot, update profile, upload images, you can do n number of things. That all, if you're working on that website, that app, that has to be completed, and acceptance criteria met. Now, have you seen it? We already had acceptance criteria met, but now it's all business functionality is added to that. Okay, so mature DoD has this additional point. Next point. Yeah,
No
go ahead.
dependents unattended.
Yeah, no dependence unattended simply means while you're coding or while you're developing, you have to ensure that your application flow is perfect. Like for example, you all have used Amazon.com, right? Must be using on daily basis. I generally do. Yes, no, guys? Yeah,
Yes, yes.
Amazon.com, everyone. Yeah. So very few time that cute dog emoji comes when there is no search, right? Like you're searching something, and when there is no search, they go, oops, we cannot find, and then that cute white dog emoji comes or picture comes. But imagine if you go on Amazon.com and you went to maybe some particular section, maybe clothes section, okay, and you want to check baby clothes, or you want to check shirts or whatever, and then when you click on that, it doesn't open and there is error. How would you feel that? Do you feel happy, or you'll get
No,
irritated,
it's
annoyed as a
frustrated.
user? Frustrated, yeah, that's the word,
Mhm.
because you come to a shopping website to actually bring out your frustration and shop and feel good, to increase your happy hormones, and there the site is not working or the app is not working. So that is what, see, no dependence unintended means if there is an application flow, like to go to baby clothing or to go to shirts, your clothing link or that has to work properly, and then from that link the other internal baby clothing link, or shirts or any attire that you're looking for. So all that has a dependency on it. There's a linkage on each other, okay, step by step by step. We're quite technical in the background, so it's from technical point of view that has to be completed. There should not be a scenario that you have kind of developed half and you are not working on the other. Okay, next point we have you know discussed just now, that unit test coverage has to be more than 85%. Second is no errors on coding standard. That simply means now this is a technical part, but just understand whatever coding you're doing, that though they have particular standards, they have particular syntax, like how we write grammar rules. Yeah. So
Yes.
like how we have grammar rules while writing an essay. So same way, there are some syntax and there are some semantics. Those are like grammar of your coding, and there are certain rules that there should not be any infinite loops, or there should not be any I would say global variables. I mean, this is a technical part, so simply means just focus that there should not be any known mistakes in coding. Okay, if you know that you have not worked properly or not written code properly, please fix it. Do not keep it open. Yeah, yeah. Tatasya, have you raised your hand? Yeah.
Yes, I had a question, Prerna. So
Yeah.
what is the difference between the acceptance criteria met that we're referring to in the initial DoD versus, under the mature DoD, we're talking about business functionality and acceptance criteria. I understood the examples you provided for business functionalities, but like, what is the difference?
So acceptance criteria is same. It's
Uh-huh.
just added with business functionality. In initial DoD, it was only acceptance criteria. They did not focus on every functionality or entire business functionality. But in mature and stringent DoD, they are saying along with the acceptance criteria, we just don't want client to accept, or okay, this is bare minimum. We have to have all the business functionality that is given by the customer. That should also be completed along with the acceptance criteria. That is it.
Okay,
But
so
other meaning is similar.
right, and in
Yeah.
the example you provided for Instagram, for instance, like if we
Mhm.
were to talk about just the acceptance criteria in that same example, how can you give me a couple of examples?
See,
taking
if I have to go for acceptance criteria for Instagram, like an app, that simply means that okay, I should be able to upload image, or upload pictures. I should be able to upload small videos or create some videos. So this is like a bare minimum thing that I can do on that particular app, right? It's a social media app. So it's like I'm just giving hypothetical example, right? Because I am not the customer. But then in deep down, there can be multiple other functionalities. Like, when you take a picture, you have those hundreds of filters, like not hundreds, but many filters. So all those filters should be there. That can be a that can be a business criteria. Then, when you complete or update your profile, when you write details about my profile, there is a limit of certain words. Okay, that is a business criteria. Like, also when there is any spam or other suspicious account is there, give warning. That is a business criteria. See, you don't care about all these things while you're uploading images or while going through reels, right? But then when it comes to security, when it comes to safety, all these points matter. Like, who can send you the request? There is an option like, strangers can send you requests or not, so you can tick on that. So there is also nobody can directly access your profile. There has to be a request coming in. So all the technical functionalities that come in the picture that you don't give much importance, those are your functionality. And the basic criteria is, okay, how to use the app. Does it answer your question?
Yes, it does. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yeah, welcome. Can you please unraise your hand? Yeah. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, Mauli, you have raised your hand. Yeah.
Yes, Prerna. Actually, I understand these things. So, what these things you're telling is related to the developer, right? Or how does
Mm-hmm.
it get related with the Scrum Master? I couldn't get that exactly.
If the developer doesn't do their work properly and the client take objections on that, isn't it going to affect the entire team? And whatever work the developer does or development team does, that has to go through or that is reviewed by the Scrum Master. So
Okay.
so you are just saying that you're I mean, I'll just on the lighter note, I'll just say that you're saying that, okay, whatever the students do in a class, that won't matter the class teacher. Is it like that?
No, no, no.
If the students behave, the class teacher will be appreciated. If the students make chaos and noise, the first person to be blamed would be the class teacher, right? Because they're directly correlated or they're together as a group. So same way, development team, whatever, if they do something great, the appreciation will be theirs along with the Scrum Master. See, because they're like a guiding parent to them. They're called as a servant leader for a reason, because though they're a leader, they are serving the entire, I would say, team or entire group of people who are working in a Scrum. Make sense, Mauli?
Yes, but
Yeah.
then how do they know these things, what you are telling the initial DODs? Like, how do they get to know that this is done? Someone tells them in the team, or they need to know it already?
Yes.
Like,
Mauli, may I know from where you have joined the sessions?
I
Because we
joined
have
from the
gone through.
starting,
Yeah, yeah.
but
So let me give
yeah.
you a clarity. Do you remember all stand-up meetings daily, Scrum
Yes,
meetings?
yes.
Yeah. So what do we share in the Scrum meetings, Mauli?
Okay, what we do, what we have done, and what we'll do
Mm-hmm.
next day. What we have done the past day, and what we will do the next same day. Yeah.
And what are the impediments? So
Yes.
when I share what I've done in the past and what I'm going to do, don't you think everybody would know what each and other person is working? And also along with the product owner who is taking care of all the work items or backlog items, taking care, I'm saying, I'm not saying updating or maintaining, but as a leader or as their I would say guiding person in the team, Scrum Master is always aware of what is happening, because he or she is working on a grassroots level with the team, and he is generally dedicated to only one team. Product owners can have or can work on multiple projects. Yeah,
Okay.
makes sense.
Yeah, yeah. Got it. Yeah.
Yeah. See,
Thank you.
slowly you'll reach there. Welcome. And I really appreciate such questions. But try to find a linkage between it. Okay. So how it is. Okay. So
Yeah, sure.
no errors on coding standards, guys. We learn technical depths less than 5 days. Yeah. So technical depths especially means there's some technical challenge or some technical delays or something that is complex, uh, that can raise an issue. So in case that issue raises, or in case the issue is raised, any uh, bug or any error comes, that should be solved within less than 5 days. Okay, it's subjective, it's mentioned. See, in case of banks, this much tat is very big. Like, is it okay if your bank server is down for 5 days? Will you enjoy it, or will you actually complain about it?
Complain
Yeah,
about.
bank.
Complain.
Yeah, why? Because it's an essential service. You want your bank website to be up and running. So that's why it's mentioned subjective. Okay, maintainability index for the module code should be more than 90. Guys, this is a little technical, so just go with the flow. It simply means that whatever code you have written, the maintenance, I'm just giving you tip of iceberg, because that is much is required from your understanding as a BA or Scrum Master. So basically, whatever code or module you're doing, that should be maintainable, that should be in a way reusable. If tomorrow you are not there in a team, or you leave the organization, somebody else can come and join and work on that pretty well. Functional test automation, yeah, this is again mature DoD. So they are saying that whatever functional test is functionalities is developed, the test can be automated, or rather should be automated. So that should be more than 75% testing should be automated. Now that's an ask of mature DoD. Functional test passed means all the functionality developed by the development team, that should be passed. There should not be, like, if I'm trying to upload a video on Instagram, there should not be an error. Certain size videos which are allowed in Instagram, that should be uploaded. I'm not saying very heavy, or maybe some GB video should be there, but then videos within the size limit, or within all the parameters, those should be uploaded. Picture should be of good quality, filter should work fine. So all this functionality has to be working fine. No known defects, we learned that known defects should not be there. Peer code review and peer code review passed, we discussed. And documentation completed, again, required documentation has to be completed. Okay, so we'll move to stringent. Gaurav, would you like to take that part?
Yeah, sure, sure. So thank you so much, everyone. So in stringent, let me quickly give you a debrief on how it is varied from initial and mature DoD. So I believe that by now you have known, like Prerna gave the example of environments. She gave you an example of Amazon.com. So when Amazon.com is live, or any website is live, anyone can go over there and they can browse through it. Yes or no? Do you agree with this?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. What if they need so Prerna also gave the example of, any error comes in, then proper nowadays puppy shows up. So those error anyway requires to be fixed as well. They cannot go into the live environment and they can continue to fix. Who are they? They are the developers or someone. So how should they be coping up with it? So any idea where they can quickly check exactly how the error occurred? If they need to, they need to go through one more time the same error. They cannot go into the live environment, but there should be a similar mirror environment where they can go and few people can access through it. Are you getting this point? And do you agree
Yes.
with it?
Yes.
Yeah. So such environment will be called as mirror production environment, or it is also called as mock production environment. It is also called as pre-prod environment or pre-production environment, because live environments are called as uh, production environment. But before it comes to pre-production environment, it has to be passed through various testing. Like user sometime accepts this is as per the requirement, as per the functionality, as per the acceptance criteria. And when business users test this, client also test this, and they verify, they approve it up along with their quality testers. Such environment is called as user acceptance testing. Okay, and that is the name of the environment. Are you getting me, everyone? Yes, give me yes or no.
Yes.
Right? Am I okay? Thank you so much for your quick confirmation. So before, so what exactly happens in this UAT before it comes to, it gets developed component by component, and when it is integrated together, every single component gets integrated and gets verified by customer and also the vendor. That environment is called as SIT, or say called as a system integration testing. Yeah. The abbreviation of this is SIT. What it is the abbreviation, everyone?
SIT.
SIT, absolutely right. And just before it gets into SIT environment, it also gets passed through, testing environment, normal testing environment. So this will be called as testing environment, where testers are testing, your in-house tester at vendors and they are testing. But before they could test it, the entire developers who are developing and coding about it, they need to come together, and they also need to verify the components they have developed. They have they are making it eligible to run together or not. So they continue to check it on developers environment, where all the developers can access. But before even that could come to that development environment, it has to be developed at their local PC. Do you agree with that? If multiple individual developers are working, they will be taking one small modules, and they will be working on that. Are you able to visualize this?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So that will be called as local environment. So did you see the journey from how production to local I reverse, and how it in real time gets progress from local environment to production environment? Are you able to visualize this picture correctly, everyone? How it has evolved? Any software gets evolved?
Yes.
Say yes, if you understood that. Anyone who has
Yes.
not understood? Okay, so I'll take this. Everyone has understood. Now, so why I was giving you these examples, because your initial DoD is the part of those component development. Okay, when it requires to be tested, and where developer themselves tested, this is called as a unit testing. In mature DoD, when SIT is evolved. System integration testing is the integrated part has been developed, has been tested and passed through it. That will become the part of mature DoD. Now coming back to stringent DoD, now understand before it goes to live environment. Okay, all those part are the part of initial DoD, mature DoD will be anyway covered into stringent DoD. Okay. So here, what extra thing you will find, just before this slide, there were definition of NFR. Do you understand what do we mean by NFR?
Yes.
Okay,
Non-functional
anyone?
requirement.
Absolutely right. You are right. So as a non-functional requirement, where load testing goes, performance testing goes, UI visibility goes, penetration testing goes, security testing. Means software is being tested on these multiple criteria. So when you will come to this column of stringent DoD, you will find all this terminology. Shared in front of you. You will once you will see where in the stringent stringent DoD column, just above the red line, peer code review is there, and before that, above that, known defects, and just before it, you will see performance test passed, load test passed, pen test passed. Can you all see that? These are included over here. Can you all see that?
Yes.
Yes.
So these are part of NFRs, which is called as non-functional requirement. So these testing has been must have been covered over here. Also, any testing which has happened, those will be regressed to check whether any existing functionality because of defect fixing is not breaking or something. That will become the part of a regression test, and functional test automation should be 75%. So not you can go all the time testing everything manually. So it has to be automated as well. So here 75% of coverage has to be taken care. And just above that, you see that maintainability index for module per code should be greater than 90. It means that source line of the code. Source line of code means what? In case something requires to be re-repaired or reworked upon, what exactly is going to happen is um, that modules per code should not be 90 lines of the code, should be developed and should be maintained properly. It should go very much easy for developers to work upon that. So that comes under maintainability index, uh, where the module per code should not be greater than 19. I have just given you example of the module development that happens on local. So accordingly, it should be maintainable. When we are talking about technical debts, Prerna has given you the example of that. Uh, Additionally, sometime what exactly happens whenever coders or say software developers, they write the line of codes, they then tend to write some comments also just beside the line of the actual code to make sure that they are understanding what they are writing, and for that they need to comment them. And such comments and additional line of code keep the softwares more bulky and more heavy in nature. And so that's the reason it is allowed not more than 5 days of such dates. These are called as a technical dates, which are also unnecessary lines of the codes. That should not be the part of this. So that comes under technical dates. So these are all, along with all the matured and initial DODs indicators that you see in these columns, will become also the part of a stringent DOD, and that defines these all have been covered under a stringent definition of done. And here it completes the stringent DOD, everyone. So any questions so far over here?
Yeah, I have a question. Can you
Yeah, and
hear
what
me?
is that? Yeah, very well.
Yeah, okay. Because I'm trying from means maybe before stringent DOD, So the question is quite simple, that when initial DOD is done, when mature DOD is done, and when stringent DOD is done, means at what part of time? Means suppose there is a project process is there, at what level these DODs are done?
Okay, so
Can you
just
hear me?
answer your queries. Yeah. Hope I am audible too as well. I'm audible to you.
Yes.
Okay. So I gave you the example of these DODs where I also mentioned various environments. Did I? Were you able to listen to the example of the environment, testing environment? Am I
Yeah.
audible to you?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
So when I was talking about the environment, I also talked about the local environment and all. All right.
Hmm.
So local environment, that will be called as initial DOD. In fact, before the local environment, when things are getting released for
Okay,
the testing environment.
assuming that there is a web application or web server,
Mhm.
so we upload all the pages on local server, right? So that is initial DOD. Now mature DOD. What is mature? Where we'll do mature DOD?
So just to give you a quick example, when it is initial DOD in testing environment, you
I
consider
can't
it
hear
Gaurav,
the
you.
your
moment
voice
it
is
comes to the
breaking.
testing environment.
Gaurav, your voice is a little breaking. Let me just intervene for 1 minute. Is it okay? Yeah, Gaurav. I think we're losing your voice. Yeah. So
Audible or
is it
not?
yeah, you are, but it is little not consistent. So let me just give a one liner, then you can continue.
Okay.
See, here that the depth of DOD, like mature, initial, or stringent, that depends on the complexity of projects, if you ask me, right? Like for example, if we are following Scrum or this methodology in say rocket industry or any research, medicinal research industry, where we know that the acceptance error percentage is very low, or error acceptance is barely there, in case of any medicinal testing, or in case of, when record launches are happening, you might have seen in the movies, they ensure that everything has to work fine. Now, I'm just giving a very hypothetical yet larger than life example for all of you to understand the intensity of it. So when such complex, so this kind of actually applications can come into your organization. Maybe if you're catering to any hospital emergency functionality, or any overall hospital application, hospital management application, wherein you need to know, like, how and when they can check in, or all the other parameters, or how fast the reports can be uploaded or available, can be available. So for, if you ask me, for such kind of complex, and by the way, this is a very simple example of complex. There are audit applications which are very complex in nature. There are data quality applications which are very complex in nature. Their background coding, or all the understanding is very, very minute and complicatedly designed, if I have to call it that way. So for such, we follow stringent DoD because it is a requirement of that project. Whereas if you're working on any basic maybe school project kind of, or not school, any something that is not too specific, like any shopping website, if I have to call it. So that time the mature DoD or initial DoD can work, because it is dealing with non-sensitive data first of all. So any government websites, any research websites, any scientific websites, any defense related applications, they all definitely have stringent
So,
DoDs,
so,
because
so
yeah.
DoD is done only once, right?
DoD is not done. DoD is called as
Means,
definition of done.
yeah, no. So, for example, in one particular project, there will be only mature DoD or stringent DoD or initial DoD.
Yes,
Okay.
depending on the nature of the project.
Okay,
Yes,
I got it
absolutely
now.
right.
I got it. I got it. I
Okay.
got
Yeah,
it.
that part was really
Prerna, please confirm
confusing.
if I am audible.
Yeah, you're audible now, and you can continue.
Hello.
It's done. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Prerna. I got the answer.
Hello.
Yeah, welcome. Yeah, Gaurav, go ahead. Gaurav, we can hear you. Continue, please.
Hello. Am I audible?
Yes, Gaurav, we can hear you. Can you hear us? Hello. Yeah, Gaurav, please go ahead. I think he is not able to hear us. Gaurav, we can hear you. Okay. Seems Gaurav might have some network related issue. Yeah. So
Am I
if
audible again?
everything,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, Gaurav, you're audible. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, okay. So I hope you answered the question which was going on.
Yeah, that
I
is
did not.
resolved.
Okay, awesome. So the thing is that a quick one to just add up, understand initial DoD is at testing environment, mature DoD is towards system integration testing environment, and the stringent DoD will be in your UAT phase. Is it clear? In one line, if I need to say, now you need to get it clarified on these environment. What exactly are these environments? Did I add what exactly we're looking for? Hello? I'm not receiving any input from your end.
Yeah,
I'm
Gaurav,
not
we are
able
done
to hear
with that.
anything
You
from
can
your
go
end.
ahead with the explanation. Yeah, Gaurav. We are done
Hello?
with that question.
Yeah.
Gaurav, I think you're not
Prerna,
able to hear
I
us.
am not able to hear any voice.
Okay, so we are
Hello?
speaking, Gaurav, but it seems that some
Prerna, could you
issue at your
take over
end.
from here? Sorry.
Yeah, I will. Yeah, continue. Yeah, please. Okay, fine. You can drop. Okay. So I think Gaurav has covered, please correct me if I'm wrong. Gaurav has covered Stringent DoD, yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So now let's move to the next topic, and that's one of my favorites and the most practical one, that is product backlog management continues. So give me a second. I need to open a new PPT. I'll just stop the screen share for some time. Give me a second. Yeah. Is my screen visible to all of you?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much. So yeah, so can anybody read the text 2 points, and along with that the circle which has some text written in different colors? Yeah. Is it visible first of all to all of you?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Please go ahead then. Please go ahead.
Product
Yeah.
backlog management,
Perfect. Next.
self-organizing and cross-functional team.
Perfect. Thank you so much for reading it out. And the text in the circle.
Make people awesome.
Wow, now this is one of my favorite. Make people awesome. Make people feel awesome. That's also there. Yeah. Next.
Deliver value continuously.
Mm-hmm. Next.
Make safety a prerequisite.
Perfect. Last.
Experiment and learn rapidly.
Yes. Now this is a kind of some features of modern agile that I really like. The first one, make people awesome. That simply means encourage each other in your team. Encourage your team members, encourage everyone to perform their best, and that ultimately will result in them being awesome. Second is deliver value continuously. Now deliver value is fine, but see the choice of the word continuously. So it's not a one-off an accident that you are delivering something on time in a good quality. It has to be a practice. It has to be a regular activity. So that's why it said deliver value continuously. The next point is make safety a prerequisite. Now it can be in the form of physical safety of your machine. It can be and can be in the form of network security of an application, like if you're surfing your bank website, all your details are confidential, your account balance, your identification details. So all that details should be encrypted in the database. No hacker can access that. So that kind of even safety we are talking about. Next is experiment and learn rapidly. So yeah, as we have a very small window towards implementation and completion of work, maybe 2 to 3 or 4 weeks max. So we got to experiment and keep learning faster in Scrum. So these are some of the uh, additional features, I have to call it. It's not the principles or something like that, but features, that makes Scrum so beautiful, if I have to call it that way, so apt in today's market or today's world to be implemented. So along with that, let us learn about product backlog management, that I think many of you might have an idea. But can somebody explain, or what do they understand when I say self-organizing and cross-functional team? Yeah, any idea? Anything that comes to your mind after reading this? Nothing?
Cross-functional team
I
is
mean,
members who are having different skills. Like in the team inside, each person, like each developer or each each team person has their own skill. They are all together and organizing by themselves, like whatever the story they are completing, they do by coordinating each other. And especially if we can say about the example of daily scrum, they organize themselves and they update themselves. It's kind of self-organizing. Maybe I
thank you so much, Malvika. Thank you so much. You have really, used proper words and explained in a very nice fashion. Similar way, if you all or if you could speak in during your interviews or discussions, that will be great. So everything
Thank you.
very well mentioned. Again, good job. So yes, we have these. Give me a second. Yeah. So we have this. Let us move ahead. Let me quickly take a water break till the time you can read what is mentioned on this slide, please. Yeah. Yes. Can everybody see the iceberg picture and can they read what is written on the screen? Who owns the
Yes.
product backlog? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah, guys, go ahead.
You
You
want
can
to
read out
read
the
us?
4 points. Yeah, yeah. Anybody, everybody who has not spoken yet or who wish to speak, please read out the points one by different people, and also read the the iceberg image. What is mentioned. Yeah.
Who owns the product backlog? The product backlog is owned by a product owner and reviewed during the sprint planning meeting.
It's important that product owners describe the task in clear, customer-focused language without technical specifications.
All product backlog items are estimated by developers.
The estimations determine the number of items that will be selected for the upcoming sprint.
Yes. Thank you for reading it out. So let's start with the image first. Give me a second. Yeah. So here, if you could see, we all know one speciality or feature of iceberg is it's always a lot beneath the water than what it is seen on the surface, right? Everybody's aware of that.
Yes.
Yes, no, yeah. So
Yes.
same way, what we can see is a high priority is on the top, at the top, and low priority that can be uh, sorry, there can be many items in the low priority. I'm just saying by the diagram. So they can be at the end and at the bottom, not at the end. And then you can have your iteration going on one after the another, and you can keep doing your releases. Now, this is a typical sprint pattern. We will come to that in some time, but just for understanding, it is given like how it can look like important features at the top, low priority features at the bottom, and in between you have your sprint going on. So before we get into that, let's learn about what is the product backlog and who owns it. So by the name of it, a product backlog item simply means whatever items that are yet to be worked on, or which are left, or which are still pending to be developed for a particular product or particular application. Now here, don't go by the word only product. It is applicable for websites, web application, Windows application, any kind of application. The word chosen here is product. So that applies to every kind of application. So whichever project you have, it can be a website, it can be a phone app, it can be anything. For that, we will have a certain product backlog items. That means your requirements should be mentioned here. Now, the bottom line of this, or the whole and soul of this chart is, I would like to call it as a chart, because it is shown as a chart only, like, one by one list of all the items to be worked upon, or product backlog item. So product owner is the person who owns it, who maintains it. So it's simply touch me not by all other team members. It's only accessible to product owner, and he is the authorized and only person who can update it, who can change it, who can, who can, I would say, not manipulation, but he can actually use it as in for updating purpose. Others can definitely review it, but they cannot make any changes. So that is a product owner. So all the planning phase, all the discussions, whenever they happen, the outcome of everything is understood and then updated by the product owner. Okay. So basically, you can imagine this as a complete list of requirements from the customer for the development. Okay. And there's also one important line that says if something is not mentioned in product backlog, that feature will never get developed. So as simple as that, if you are not written that as a list of work item, it will not get developed. Okay. So that means your application to have that feature, to have that functionality, you have that kind of item mentioned in your product backlog. Next point is, it's important that the owner describe the task in clear, custom focused language without technical specification. Okay. So here, though development team will refer to it, but product backlog should not be too technical in to understand. It should be easy to understand by everyone. Everybody, starting from developer to tester to maybe other stakeholders who are involved in your project, maybe senior director or other team members, everyone should be able to understand what is written in their product backlog. So it should be more or less like a plain English, use, and not the technical jargons to be used. Okay, so it's very much understood by everyone. So third point is quite important. All product backlog items are estimated by developers. That means that all the product, everybody understood that product backlog simply means whatever the requirements are given by the customer, those are mentioned in that list. Okay, in that storage, if I have to call it that way. So all these items, their estimation has to be given by the developer. Now, what do I mean by that? Like if I tell you as a team of Guru schools, I would say candidates, okay, to work on a website. Imagine you all are developers, just a hypothetical imagination, or if you really wanted to be one, it's your golden chance. So all of you are developers, and I'm telling you guys, go ahead and develop a website like Amazon.com. Okay. So should I be telling you that develop that in 6 months, or you will come and tell me, okay, as per the requirement, we will take 6 months, or we will take 5 months, or we will take a year? Who is the right person to give estimation?
Developer.
What do you think?
The one who makes
Developer.
Yeah, yeah, right. You said the one who's going to work on that,
Yeah,
or
the
who
one
is going to develop, right? Absolutely right. So yes, that is why the estimation has to come from the developers. Okay. Last is their estimations determine the number of items that will be selected for the upcoming sprint. Now it's again connected. Imagine if there's some complex or technical part to the you know development, and it will take time. So instead of per se 10 items to be delivered, it's like imagine in earlier sprint this development team has delivered 10 items, like 10 items, like how can you say, if you imagine amazon.com, then 10 items can be, one is a clothing, I would say link is on, then toys link is on, then I would say a sports or accessories, that is working fine. So you can serve, check, add, update, order all this all the sport items, sports related item. Now maybe in this time you might have to update about some health related items, which you think they can be little tricky or they can take time. So last year, in the last sprint, though you developed 10 items, but in this sprint, because the technicalities or complexity is high, you can develop only 6 or 7 items. Okay, so this can also happen. So that's why the developer team is the right or they are the right people to share the estimates. Okay, no, not even product owner, sorry, or not even scrum master. See, they cannot estimate that well or that accurate, because they are not the exact people who will be developing it. So development team, being the grassroots level worker, if I have to call it that way, they will share the actual estimates of the development. Make sense, guys? Yes, no, any doubts in this? It's easy to understand, but it's quite critical from the product backlog point of view. Yes, no?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. Don't worry, we are towards the end. I'll just take the next day. I know it's getting late there. Give me a second. I need to take a call. So can you point, please? What is product backlog item? Yeah, am I audible, guys? Yeah. Go ahead, please read out.
What is product backlog? The product backlog is a list of functionalities, technical requirements, enhancements that are maintained and managed by the product owner.
Okay, so I'll go one by one. So it's basically list of functionalities or technical requirements that's actually in a way one and the same. It can be functional, it can be technical. So difference between functional and technical requirement is, functional requirement is, okay, I should be able to see this picture or this image or this video. And technical requirement would be, okay, if I click on this page, the video should start buffering, or there should not be any delay, or no, it should start playing instead of buffering, sorry. Or if I click on this image, it should enlarge, there should not be any delay, or the image should not be distorted. Or if I want to record something, there should be live streaming, so things like that, everything that has to do with the technology part of it. And enhancements that are maintained and managed by product owner. So basically enhancements means on and above the requirements, if there's something else the customer wants to do it, it's a part of requirement, just a different fancy word, but yeah, it simply means on and above what was shared earlier. So all these asks, all the requests, all the requirements are maintained in product backlog. Yeah. Next item. Next line, please.
If something is missing from the product backlog, it doesn't exist. So if the product exists, its product backlog also exists.
Yeah, this is the exact line what I just mentioned some time back. If you have missed any particular item in the product backlog, just be sure that that will never get developed because it is not present, right? You have to have that functionality mentioned in the product backlog item. So same way, if you want to have your product, some of the features are important features, ensure that they are in the product backlog item. Okay, so it's as simple as that. Next point.
Product backlog is never complete.
And there's an exclamation to it. Can anybody answer why it is that way? Why it is mentioned product backlog is never complete?
New features keep on adding whenever the client feels like it depends upon the market trend. So whenever the market is is changing, the product backlog also keep adding the features. I mean, the features is not in the sense of what we speak in the Scrum wording, but the changes that needs to be updated for the product.
Yeah. So basically, this particular point and the next point, they are connected. The product backlog is dynamic and product backlog is never complete. So you are absolutely right. This simply means the product backlog is always getting updated. Changing is a little hard to mention, but it's updated. So for example, we started the project per se last week, and this week the customer comes and say, hey, we want to have these changes instead of this color theme. We would like to go ahead with this color theme. You can have this image instead of that image, or we want to have this functionality. We want to have 10 users instead of 5 users. So no, all these things, it keeps reviving, it keeps changing, it keeps updating. So that's why it is mentioned that product backlog is never complete, because there are always some or the other items that are getting updated or mentioned. Next is product backlog is dynamic. That means it's ever evolving, that we just mentioned, that the customer can say that we want to change this. And then as per the customer request, if it is within budget or within timelines and within the parameters or scope, we definitely sorry, agree to that. Last point, guys. Last one.
It changes constantly during work progress because new ideas, functionalities appear. Some of them change or move up or down the backlog list.
Yes, thank you so much for reading it out. I just explained the first part as of now, that there is continuous changes or requirements that keep coming, and definitely as per the requirement, if earlier per se we had a high priority item, and now as per the customer, they want this new item to be developed first, as per priority. So the high item definitely becomes a medium one, and the latest item becomes a high. So there is a fluctuation or up and down of the requirements or the priorities also in the project backlog item. Okay. So overall, have you see, this is just a beginning. Okay, we will have all the diagrams or images, just for your ensuring that you understand the concept, or you have that in your memory lane, quite set up. So as of now, we're just starting. So I don't want to bombard you with too much information in the beginning. So any doubts in this given slide regarding product backlog item? Yeah, go ahead. Anybody? Or you're good, you can say good, okay. Yeah, any response is fine.
Okay, just I have one small question that as an estimation, is budget is revised for product backlog?
See, not for product backlog. If there is any particular item or any particular request by customer that is outside the scope, you understand scope, right? That whatever we had decided earlier. So it is on and above that scope, and it will require a lot of time to be to get implemented, or it might require some special resources that we might not have, any special technical expertise. So in that case, yes, we have to revise the budget. And then first of all, we have to check whether we want to accept the requirement or not. If it is very well within our reach, like we can develop it within the existing resources. Resources means developers, or we can work on it. Because sometimes, in my personal opinion, in my personal experience as a project manager, I call it that client can ask for stars and moons. Okay, they actually do. They ask for any vague requirement in given budget, which is highly unrealistic. So we have to kind of give them a reality check, stating that okay, this is not in the scope, and this is not even in the time, that will not fit in the timeline and budget. So do you want us to revisit this, and or if you want to develop, then this can be the additional cost or additional time required. Yeah, so everything is revisited if it is out of scope. If it is a smaller change, any look and feel change, anything related to the functionality, that you can give as a, we call it cookies or freebies to the customer, just to relation building, just for the relation building part, but that should not hurt your timeline on budget. Okay.
Mhm.
So have I answered your question?
Yes, yes, yes. Yes, I got.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you.
So if you guys do not have any further doubts, I would like to close today's session, but I'll request all of you to please rewatch the video, because during the live session, you are looking at the recording or looking at the screen. You might have some disturbances, so you tend to sometimes lose on some of the understanding. But I'll recommend you to watch this, with your earphones plugged whenever you're walking, you're doing any household chores, anything, you can give some time. So that will revise the concepts and give you a better understanding. And along with that, please share your feedback of today's session, how you thought it was good, boring, interesting, not interesting, whatever you felt, what topics we covered, in your own words. So we want you to express, and you want to be active in the group. So please share that in BA Agile WhatsApp group about feedback, and that will also act as your today's attendance for the session, because we don't take any separate attendance. So please go ahead and feel free to write in your own words about the topics, about how the entire session went. And do rewatch the not only this video, other videos from the same topic, even by other trainers. You can subscribe Guru School's channel and check all the videos that are related for your understanding. There are many videos. They are very useful, and they'll definitely help you to crack the interviews and for your overall understanding. Okay. So thank you so much for your patience. I take your leave, and we will meet once again in upcoming week.
Prerna,
Okay.
I have something to
Yeah.
ask here.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, so actually, I want to ask you that, are we actually going, will be having hands-on experience as in what a BA does in a company?
Yes,
So,
yes.
so what is
So
it? I
we
mean,
have,
yeah.
okay. So like, remember we were talking about the documents in between. So I mentioned business requirement document. I mentioned about fish, fish diagram or activity diagram, or, so all those diagrams, all those documents we teach, and we also give you as an assignment. We also give small projects that will work as an assignment. We also have sessions towards the end which are fun yet practical, where we will request you to present something non-work related. Okay, it will not be anything topic. It can be your personal favorite, or we have a typical session wherein we ask you to come and give us a tour of your favorite place on the earth. Like it can be any city, any particular place, your hometown. So all these activities ultimately, in all, make you or prepare you for the role. So we do have the technical, as in not technical, the hands-on practice of all the documentation required, along with the project understanding and the presentation part. So everything is covered in this track. Don't worry. Anything else?
Okay, and also, yeah, one more thing. I know we already had a talk with the one who arranged all this thing, but I was just wanted to ask again, can we work? Is there any way that we can work, for an actual company, like hands-on experience with working with any company?
You know what? You can check about this with Dave sir during the RRP sessions. I hope you're attending one. Yeah,
No, I'm
there are
not
two or
attending.
two to three.
Yeah.
Yeah, so please start. This is for everyone, guys. all these queries beyond training related to your job, related to your opportunities or practical exposure, I will recommend and request you to please join RRRP sessions, because see, currently Dev sir is in Mumbai. So he has so many meetings and catch-ups going on with different companies and owners and all that. So a lot of things are happening when he is on business tours. So please join the sessions and ask your doubts. He is the right person to give you clarity on that, because he has a bigger picture in front of him.
Excuse me,
Yeah,
Priya. So
makes sense.
when we attended orientation, presentation conducted by Mr. Dave Dicker, Mr. Dave Karlikar, he mentioned that as part of the offering, we will actually be working on real projects like from where the former students had worked, or through contacts that Guru School has. And
Yes,
we'll get
yes,
hands-on
yes,
experience
yes,
on actual
yes,
projects.
yes. But that depends on the availability of which domain, which company. Like, see, he had mentioned during the initial phase, right? So by the time you end this course, there might be some other organizations coming up with, other kind of projects. That's why I'm saying he's the right person to give you clarity, because we on the training side, we're more focused on training you for interviews, for projects, for everything. From opportunities and hands-on practice point of view, actual work point of view, he is the right person to answer that. He or even your point of contact HR, because they are in close connection with the ongoing requirements or ongoing project status or ongoing opportunities that are coming in the Guru schools and which are available for you once you're ready.
Okay.
Yeah, makes
All
sense.
right. Thank you. Yes.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah. So guys, please share your feedback on the WhatsApp group, and please do rewatch the videos. And in case of any doubts, do connect with us. Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'll just stop the recording. Yeah. Good night. Take
you.
care and see you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Most welcome.
Thank you,
See you in the
Priya.
next.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good night. Bye bye.
Bye.
Good night. Bye bye.
Thank you.